2025 CSLB Contractors License, Law and Business Questions and Answers. Part 2. By Paint Thinner Gang. What's the first thing the CSLB does when a complaint is filed against a licensed contractor? The CSLB reviews the complaint to determine if it falls within their jurisdiction. If a complaint is unresolved after notifying the contractor, what is CSLB's next step? To initiate an investigation to determine if there has been a violation of the contractor's license law. This may involve a field investigation, interviews with the contractor and complainant, reviewing contracts, photos, permits, etc. What does CSLB attempt before recommending arbitration? Mediation between the contractor and the complainant. What can CSLB issue for minor violations? Notice to correct. This notice allows the contractor to fix the violation without a fine or disciplinary action, as long as it's corrected within a specific time frame, usually 30 days. It's often used for minor paperwork errors, small contract violations, advertising issues. Failure to correct it in time can lead to a citation or disciplinary action. What is the maximum civil penalty for most violations? General violations. The maximum civil penalty for most violations is $8,000. Serious violations. For violations involving unlicensed practice or workers' compensation insurance, the maximum penalty can be $30,000. Contracting with an unlicensed contractor. A penalty of $15,000 may be assessed for violations that involve contracting with an unlicensed contractor or aiding and abetting an unlicensed contractor to evade the law. Minimum civil penalty. The minimum civil penalty for some violations is $200. Working without a contractor's license can result in D. All of the above. If a citation is contested, what option does a licensee have? Request an administrative hearing before the Office of Administrative Hearings, OAH, within 15 days of hearing the citation. What happens if a licensee does not comply with a final citation order? The license may be suspended and then revoked. What does CSLB do for flagrant violations? File a formal accusation that can lead to suspension or revocation of the contractor's license. What is required for a licensee to operate during a suspension period? Operating with a suspended license is illegal and can result in additional penalties, including fines and criminal charges. A disciplinary bond helps to continue work for a cost, and the problems must be corrected. What is the purpose of a disciplinary bond? The purpose of a disciplinary bond is to provide financial protection to consumers if a contractor with a revoked or suspended license commits another violation after reinstatement. It is required by the CSLB when a contractor wants to reactivate or reinstate a license that was revoked due to serious violations. What is disclosed to the public regarding complaints? Only complaints that result in formal disciplinary action, such as a citation, accusation, suspension, or revocation, are disclosed publicly. How long are citations disclosed to the public? 5 years from the date of compliance with the citation. What action can CSLB take against unlicensed contractors? A. Issue a citation, impose fines, and refer the case for criminal prosecution. What is the maximum civil penalty for unlicensed contracting? B. $15,000. What happens if an unlicensed contractor continues to operate after receiving a citation? A. They are referred for criminal prosecution, misdemeanor charges, up to $15,000 in fines, up to 6 months in jail, increased penalties for repeat violations. Who can CSLB refer criminal cases to? A. The district attorney. What is the role of an administrative law judge in CSLB cases? A. Conduct a formal hearing and issue a proposed decision based on evidence and testimony. What must accompany a public disclosure of complaints? A. A statement that the complaint is an allegation and has not been proven. What is a potential outcome of a criminal case against an unlicensed contractor? A. Fines up to $15,000, up to 6 months in jail, probation, court-ordered restitution to the victim. How does CSLB handle minor first-time violations? A. Notice to correct. This allows the contractor to fix the issue without being fined or facing formal discipline, as long as it's corrected within a specific time frame, usually 30 days. When can a license be reinstated after revocation? A. 1 year after the effective date of revocation, unless a different period is specified in the revocation order. What document is required to contest a citation? A. A written appeal, also known as a written request for an administrative hearing. The request must be submitted within 15 days of receiving the citation. What does CSLB require in cases of serious law violations? A. File a disciplinary bond. This bond is in addition to the regular contractor's bond. Must be in an amount determined by CSLB, minimum $15,000. Must remain in place for at least 2 years. What penalty applies for blatantly unlawful activity? A. Revocation of the contractor's license. Who pays for investigation and enforcement costs? A. The contractor who committed the violations. What does the registrar's decision in a case depend on? A. The proposed decision of the administrative law judge and the evidence presented during the hearing. What type of cases can CSLB dismiss with no penalties? A. There is insufficient evidence of a violation, or the contractor has taken corrective action and no harm was done. These typically involve minor issues that are quickly resolved. Lack of documentation or credible proof. Cases where the contractor complied voluntarily after notification. How long does the registrar disclose accusations resulting in stayed revocation? A. 10 years from the effective date of the decision. What must unlicensed contractors do to avoid further penalties after receiving a citation? A. Obtain a valid license and pay a civil penalty. What is considered a flagrant violations? A. Fraud, willful code violations, working without a license, repeated offenses. What is the maximum down payment a contractor can legally request in California? B. $1,000 or 10% of the contract price, whichever is less. How many days does a homeowner have to cancel a home improvement contract after signing? C. 3 days on midnight of that day. Do sole proprietorship, corps and LLCs or partnerships require workers' comp? Sole prop. Only if there are employees. Corporation. Yes, unless no employees and officers are excluded. LLC. Yes, unless no employees and members are excluded. Partnership. Yes, unless only partners working and no employees. What must be provided to the homeowner before work begins on a home improvement project? A. A copy of the signed construction improvement contract. What is the purpose of the notice to owner in home improvement contracts? A. Inform the homeowner of their legal rights and protections, including the risk of a mechanic's lien if subcontractors or suppliers are not paid, even if the homeowner already paid the contractor. Which agency enforces home improvement contract requirements in California? B. Contractors State License Board, CSLB. What penalty applies if a contractor operates without a written contract for a home improvement project? A. A citation, a fine of up to $5,000, and possible disciplinary action by the CSLB. What is required if a change order is made during a home improvement project? B. A written and signed modification to the original contract. When must a contractor provide a mechanic's lien warning? A. Before signing the contract. Which document explains a homeowner's right to cancel a contract? A. Notice of right to cancel. What must be included in a home improvement contract regarding project completion dates? A. An approximate start and completion date. Who is responsible for paying subcontractors during a home improvement project? B. The general contractor. What is required if a homeowner cancels a contract within the allowed period? A. The contractor must refund any money received. Contractor can either return material or keep it. The client cannot keep anything that belongs to the contractor, material or tools. In California, after receiving a down payment, a contractor must A. 20 days. When is a contractor required to notify the homeowner about delays in the project? A. When they arise. How long must contractors retain copies of signed home improvement contracts? B. 3 years. What happens if a contractor fails to deliver on contractual obligations? A. The homeowner can report the contractor to CSLB. Which of the following is prohibited in a home improvement contract? A. Waiving the right to a written contract. What happens if a contractor fails to provide a written change order? A. The work is considered unauthorized. What must contractors include regarding progress payments in the contract? A. A schedule of specific amounts and due dates. What is the primary focus of the Home Solicitation Sales Act? B. Ensuring homeowners are informed about contract cancellation rights. What is a homeowner entitled to if a project is abandoned? A. Full reimbursement for incomplete work. What must a home improvement contract specify regarding warranties? A. The type and duration of warranties. When is the 3-day right to cancel applicable? C. When contracts are signed at the homeowner's residence. What is the minimum contract price requiring a written agreement in California? B. $500. What is required in all advertising for home improvement services? A. The contractor's license number. What must a contractor disclose to a homeowner before accepting payment? A. Proof of workers' compensation insurance. How does CSLB assist homeowners with contract disputes? A. By offering arbitration services. What must contractors provide regarding project permits? A. A guarantee that all necessary permits are obtained. What is a common cause of business failure in construction? B. Lack of management skills. A common cause of business failure in the construction industry is poor management skills, including issues with planning, budgeting, scheduling, and communication. Without strong business and project management, even skilled contractors can struggle to maintain profitability and meet client expectations. What is one of the main responsibilities of a contractor manager? B. Coordinating employee work and materials. What is the purpose of planning in construction management? A. To ensure resources are available in the right amounts at the right time, such as labor, materials, and equipment. What does standardization mean in management? B. Creating consistent methods for ongoing operations. What are controls in business management? B. Processes that track performance and warn about deviations. How is sole ownership defined? B. A business owned by one person with full control and liability. What is a general partnership? B. A collaboration between two or more individuals sharing ownership and operation. What is the key feature of a limited partnership? B. Only one partner manages the business and assumes full liability. What is a corporation? A. A business entity that provides personal liability protection to owners. What must a contractor do before bidding on a project? B. Conduct on-site inspections and review specifications. What does capitalization refer to in business? A. Total financial resources available to the owner. What is retention in construction contracts? A. Funds withheld until project completion, commonly 10%. What is a performance bond? A. A guarantee of job completion according to plans. Why is risk management important in business? B. To reduce uncertainty and prevent losses. What is the purpose of workers' compensation insurance? A. To provide employees with wage and medical benefits for work-related injuries. What is a common indirect cost in construction? B. Tools and equipment maintenance. What is the primary focus of marketing management for contractors? Building personal contacts and referrals. What is a critical path in construction scheduling? B. Key tasks that determine the overall project completion time. Why are financial ratios important in business management? A. To identify areas for improvement by comparing key metrics. What is the benefit of a bar chart in construction management? A. It simplifies scheduling by showing start and finish times for tasks. How should a contractor handle price increases from suppliers? A. By verifying order quantities and checking with other suppliers. What is the primary purpose of equity funds for a contractor? C. To raise capital without surrendering control of the business. Why is subcontractor reliability critical in construction? B. It ensures timely project completion and cost efficiency. What is the significance of decision-making in management? B. Delegating routine decisions to trained employees. What is the role of controls in financial management? A. To monitor deviations from expected outcomes and warn the manager. How can contractors improve job selection? A. By evaluating financial resources and technical expertise. What is the main purpose of business interruption insurance? B. To cover losses caused by unexpected business disruptions. Why are retention payments significant in construction? A. They represent funds withheld until project completion and acceptance. What is a limited liability company, LLC? A. A business structure that combines liability protection with flexible taxation. What is the purpose of fidelity bonds? A. To protect businesses from employee theft. What is the primary purpose of a regional notification center? B. To protect underground installations and ensure safety during excavation. What is required before beginning excavation work? B. Notifying the regional notification center at least 2 working days in advance. How long is an inquiry identification number from a notification center valid? C. 28 calendar days. What must an excavator do if they cause damage to an underground installation? A. Report the damage to the regional notification center within 48 hours. Which type of equipment is required to verify the location of underground installations? C. Hand tools or a vacuum device. What is the penalty for knowingly violating government code sections 4.216 through 4.216.9? C. Up to $100,000. Knowingly violating California government code sections 4.216-4.216.9, which govern safe excavation. Practices and utility notification requirements can result in civil penalties of up to $100,000. These laws are in place to prevent damage to underground utilities and ensure public safety. What must excavators do if operator markings become no longer visible during work? B. Request the operator to remark the lines within 2 working days. What is the color used to mark the boundaries of the work area? C. White. What is required for excavation work to legally continue beyond the validity of an initial ticket number? Revalidation of the ticket number before it expires. Who must comply with the regional notification center requirements? B. Anyone disturbing the surface of the ground by digging, drilling, or boring.